Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'dahu sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa halul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Wa ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Viewers at home, we welcome you once again to this segment of Sahur Life, which is a women angle. And today, we are going to look at managing conflict in Muslim homes. There is no way, we all know that people will live together, that there will be no misunderstanding. So the most important thing is, how do we tackle it? How do we go about it? And as a Muslim family, when conflict happens, what do we do? Do we just sit and allow everything to go bad? Or should we do something? Are there guides that guide us in managing the conflicts? You know, there is bound to be conflict between husband and wife. And in a family where it is not only one wife, there is bound to be conflict between the co-wives. And even the children in the family, as they grow up, there are issues that may come up that will try to bring about conflict between them or amongst them. So how do we do? What do we do? How do we go about it? Or is it the conflict that sometimes arises where there are other relatives living in the family? So whatsoever the conflict may be, in whatever phase it presents itself, we have a guide. And what is that guide? Just as the Prophet said when he was living. He said, I left two things for you as a guide, the Quran and the Hadith. So whenever there is conflict, what do? We go back to Allah and His Messenger. Just as Allah said in Quran 4, verse 59. He said, and if you disagree over anything, refer it to Allah and the Messenger. If you should believe in Allah and the last day, that is the best way and best in a result. Meaning that is what will bring out good result for you. If there is any conflict, you will go back to Allah. How do you go back to Allah? You go back to the Quran and see what the Quran says about what is happening. And see what the Quran said, how the Quran instructs you to manage what is at hand. That is why it is not enough for a Muslim to just pick the Quran, read the Quran, and just feel contented. No, you have to be judged by the Quran. So whatever the conflict is, if we refer it back to Allah, definitely we'll have a solution. If we refer it back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we look and see how the Prophet takes care of certain things when he was alive, and how the companions of the Prophet take care of things or manage some conflicts that happen when they were alive. That is how we'll manage the conflict in our homes. For example, if there is any conflict between the husband and the wife, the husband being the head, try as much as possible to solve the problem with his wife, and there was no a way out of it. He tried his best as a man, but maybe the woman did not listen to him, his wife did not obey him, she continued, and the conflict continues. Then the next thing he do is that he invite her own people. When he invite her people, they table it, and then they discuss about it. And they will surely find a solution if they do it because of Allah. Whatever you do with good intention, That is why intention is the most paramount thing, or I can say is the backbone of all our activities in this world. What is the intention of doing it at the first instance? So the intention of the husband calling her people to come into that issue is for them to have a way out. And Allah definitely will bring a way out of it. And once we are doing that using the Quran, definitely the woman will have to succumb. And she will have to mellow down. And then a solution will be found. And if it is between if the family home is having more than one wife, and let's say, for example, the conflict is between the wives. Now, who is the first judge? The first judge is the husband, because he is the head of the family. And the wives, if they are real complete Muslims, they have to obey him. And he too has to fear Allah in whatever judgment he will do between his or among his wives, if they are more than two or they are two. And that is why before you judge anything, you have to investigate. You have to investigate and know the truth of what happened. Sometimes that investigation may not be that you will ask, you, what did you do? You, what did you do? Put them together and start questioning them. That may even bring more trouble. But if there is a conflict between them or amongst them, you take your time, you calm them down, you make your investigations, then you sit them down. You bring the Quran into your matter and the hadiths of the Prophet into your matter. Surely you will have a way out of it. Because you cannot judge by listening to just one party. You have to listen to both parties. And you have to investigate. That is why in Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 6, Allah is saying, "O you who believed, if there comes to you a disobedient one with information, investigate. Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu in ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu." You have to investigate so that you will not go and conclude or pass judgment, and then at the end you will come and realize that your judgment is wrong. It will become a regretful thing to you. And again, even if that conflict is amongst the children, that is why the Prophet ﷺ said that parents should not show preference to some children on the others. You should know that you should not show that you prefer this child than the others. It will cause problem in the family. And that, most of the time, is what results to conflict, because it will create hatred among them. But if you make them to feel that they are one, you make them to feel that they are siblings, they love each other, you don't show that you love this one more than this one. The only thing is that when one is wrong, you try and show that child that he is wrong. And when the one is right, you try and praise that one so that the others will learn from it. So even if it is amongst your children that there is conflict, because as they grow, as I said, there tends to be conflict. So there should be communication and discussion in the family that will make the children know that they belong to each other. They are their brother's keeper. And then if there is conflict, in their own case too, you have to investigate. And whatever you do, you turn back to Allah. Take it back to Allah and the Messenger of Allah. And wherever you do that, Allah will surely give you a solution to whatever problem you are facing. So in that, the managing of conflict in a Muslim family is that you should fear Allah and you should go back to Allah and the Prophet, and you will surely find a solution, inshallah. May Allah protect us and guide us aright and make us do the right thing at all time. And may Allah make us see the right thing and give us the ability to do the right thing. And may Allah make the bad thing so clear to us so that we will stay away from it. As usual, as we go about fasting, we should make a lot of du'as. Make a lot of dua to yourself, for yourself. Make a lot of dua for your parents. Make a lot of dua for your children, your family, our dear country, and the Muslim Ummah at large. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.